Hello and welcome to today's practice. We're going to start by making our way onto our mat, onto our backs. Our knees together and our feet wide, about as wide as the mat itself. And I'd like to invite you to take your attention to your breath. Just taking note of the inhale and exhale. Allowing the breath to be an anchor for the present moment. I'd like to invite you now to begin to heel toe your feet together and then sending your knees off to one side in a gentle twist. And it doesn't matter which side. Inhaling and observing any sensations you feel in the body. And then inhaling your legs up to center and then exhaling, cascading your knees off to the other side. If you'd like to explore a different sensation, you can send your arm wide, reaching off to the side. And again, just breathing here. Inhale those knees back to center. Bringing your heels close to your sits bones, preparing for a bridge. Palms on the earth. Inhale, sending your hips towards the ceiling. Peeling vertebrae off the earth one by one, and then with an exhale, lowering back down. Inhale, peeling those sits bones up off the earth. And then with an exhale, lowering back down. For this next round, if you'd like to engage in a different sensation, you can take your right leg and extending it towards the ceiling as you inhale, and then exhale, lowering down. Continuing this way with an inhale, and exhale. Inhale, rising up, and with an exhale, bringing that foot down to the earth, lowering down and drawing your knees to your chest, wrapping your arms around your shins, giving yourself a little hug. Maybe rocking back and forth. And then getting ready for Yogi Bicycles, taking your fingers, lacing them behind your head. Your gaze maybe goes slightly behind you. Extend that left arm, keeping your right knee bent. Draw your left elbow to your right knee. With an inhale, swapping sides, straightening your right leg, keeping your left knee bent, drawing your right elbow. Inhale and exhale, swapping sides. And continuing in this way with your own breath. Exhaling as the knee and elbow come together, inhaling as you extend. The goal here is to feel control, not necessarily going as fast as you can. Keeping that gaze going slightly up and behind you. And then take those feet down to the earth, drawing those knees together, feet wide with the mat. And then heel toe those feet together. And with an exhale, cascading your knees off to one side. Engaging again in a gentle recline twist. Inhale those knees back to center. And exhale, twisting off to the other side. Inhaling back to center. And getting ready for bridge. Inhaling your hips up to the ceiling, hands pushing into the earth. With an exhale, lowering down. And inviting you to engage in that sensation on this side as well. If you wanted that variation with the leg sticking up towards the ceiling. You can inhale that leg up whenever you're ready. And with an inhale, rising up, and exhale, lowering down. Again, this is just an option. One more inhale as you rise up, and then exhale, bringing that foot down to the earth and lowering down. Draw those knees towards your chest, rolling side to side, getting ready now for Yogi Bicycles on this side. Take those hands, lace them behind your head, extend that left leg, drawing left elbow to right knee, and then swapping sides. Then exhale, drawing elbows to knees, inhaling, releasing, moving at your own pace. Again, a reminder that it's not about how fast you can go, but the control. Knowing that you can always take a break, and release, and take those feet to the earth, knees together, feet wide. Just take a moment of rest. Before heel toeing those feet back together, take that right foot, crossing it over your left thigh, getting ready for a reclined figure four. And this might be your bus stop, but if you'd like some deeper sensation, you can thread your fingers behind your left thigh and drawing it towards your chest. That's a bit too much for me, so I'm going to keep my foot on the earth. But feel free to be curious here. As you explore your figure four, breathing into any of the sensations you feel. And then with your next exhale, cascading over to the left in a different type of twist. Taking notice of any sensations in the body you feel, how this might be different. And inhale back to center. And release that foot down to the earth. And preparing for a dynamic bridge pose. As you inhale, peeling your hips up off the earth, sending your arms to reach behind you. And then with an exhale, bringing those arms back down to the earth. Inhaling, lifting the hips, reaching behind you. And with an exhale, swooping your arms back down as you rest your hips to the earth. Moving at your own pace here, or with me. Inhaling as you reach behind, lifting the hips, and with an exhale, bringing the hips back to the earth. Draw those knees to your chest. Maybe taking the hips wide, if that feels good. Getting ready for Yogi Bicycles again. Drawing that elbow to knee with an exhale, with an inhale, extending. Moving again at your own pace or with me. With an inhale, extend, and an exhale, drawing knees to elbow. Not forgetting to send your gaze behind you. And then taking those feet down to the earth. Heel toe your feet wide, knees resting on each other. And getting ready for a reclined figure four. Heel toe those feet together and take your left ankle to rest on your right knee. And playing around with sensation here, maybe drawing your right foot towards your sits bone, maybe pushing that left knee away from you, or even threading your fingers behind your right thigh. And just being curious, playing around with different feelings in the hip. Now with your next breath, cascading off to the right in another twist, but a slightly different twist, so taking a moment to observe any different sensations in the body. Now when you're ready, inhaling back to center, taking that foot to the earth, and drawing those heels close to your sits bones, engaging in a dynamic bridge as we inhale, drawing our hips towards the ceiling, our hands reaching behind us, and then with an exhale, lowering down. With an inhale, peeling our hips off the earth, taking our hands to reach behind our heads, and with an exhale, lowering back down. Continuing in this way with an inhale, and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Drawing those knees towards your chest, giving yourself another hug. Going into another round of Yogi Bicycles, extending one leg, drawing elbow to knee. And then moving at your own pace with an inhale, extending, and exhale, drawing elbow to knee. Not forgetting to send your gaze up and behind you. Draw those knees back to your chest, rocking, engaging your core as you rock to a seated position. Might take you a few times, and that's okay. And then roll onto your knees and your hands. And then come into a seated position, maybe sitting on a block. And finding a position of comfort and dignity. Getting ready for a seated cat-cow. With an inhale, drawing your chest forward, your gaze up and behind you. With an exhale, sending your spine behind, your gaze towards your pelvis. And moving in this way with an inhale, cow, exhale, cat. Moving with me or at your own pace. Perhaps exploring the sensation of your hands moving along your thighs as well. And with an inhale, reaching your arms up towards the ceiling, taking one arm to the earth, the other as you reach towards the side. Nice side stretch, inhaling back to center. And exhale, taking the opposite hand to the earth now. As you exhale into another side stretch, reaching towards the opposite side of the mat. And continuing again at your own pace as you inhale towards center and exhale into a side stretch. Remembering to keep your heart open, sending your shoulders towards the back of your mat. With an inhale, back towards center. With an exhale, taking your hand to the earth. And then when you found a sense of balance, taking your hands to your knees, going into a seated twist, taking your hand on your opposite knee. And with an exhale, twisting, sending your gaze towards the back of your mat. Maybe with every inhale, you come out of your twist just a little bit, and with an exhale, maybe going a little bit deeper. Inhaling, coming back to center, and then exhaling off to the other side. And again with this side, as you inhale, maybe coming out of your twist just a bit. And with every exhale, going a little bit deeper. When you're ready, inhaling, coming back to center. Remove that block if you're sitting on a block. And come to your hands and knees. And tabletop. Feeling the sense of grounding, yet at the same time, perhaps a sense of extension. Taking that right leg, extending it behind you, and with your left arm extending there as well. This may be your bus stop, but if you'd like deeper sensation, lift that back leg up off the ground, and with an exhale, drawing elbow to knee, and with an inhale, extending. Exhale, drawing elbow to knee, inhale, extending. Drawing that hip down to the earth. Sometimes we have a habit of lifting that hip up towards the sky. We want to avoid that if we can. Take those hands and knees down to the earth, extending the opposite leg now, and opposite arm. Maybe staying here if this is your bus stop. If not, going for a different sensation, lifting that leg up, and with an exhale, drawing knee to elbow. Continuing to move at your own breath or with me. Beautiful. And then coming down to the earth, back into tabletop. Taking your hands a few inches in front of you now, tucking your toes. And send yourself into your first downward facing dog of the day. A couple tips that I like to explore when it's my first dog of the day is to take my feet nice and wide, have my knees bent. I like to also find movement, maybe by pedaling my feet or wagging my tail, and pushing the earth away from me with my hands. Walk your hands back to your feet, meeting in a forward fold with an exhale. And with an inhale, reaching up towards the ceiling. And then walking to the top of your mat, hands at heart center. And getting ready for a few rounds of half sun salutation to cultivate that relationship of movement and breath connection. With an inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. With an inhale, pushing away from the earth as we reach towards the ceiling. And exhale, hands at heart center. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And with an inhale, pushing away from the earth, feeling that extension as we reach towards the ceiling. And exhale, hands at heart center. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And with an inhale, swooping your arms, reaching towards the ceiling. And exhale, hands at heart center. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. With an inhale, reaching. And exhale, hands at heart center. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, swooping your arms, reaching. And exhale, hands at heart center. Making sure you've got a couple blocks close by. With an inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Stepping back with your left foot as you drop your left knee to the earth. Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Feeling free to play around with the distance here. Taking those blocks is a nice option to engage in a different stretch. Inhaling into any sensations we feel. Again, the blocks are just an option. With an exhale, moving those blocks to the side, taking your hands to the earth, tabletop. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Bring those blocks close together again, stepping forward with your left foot. Your right leg is behind you now, Anjaneyasana, low lunge on the other side. Maybe observing any different sensations you feel now that you're on the other side of your body. Moving those blocks off to the side, taking your hands down to the earth. Left leg behind you, push back, downward facing dog. Finding movement or stillness. Knees bent or straight. Walk those hands back to your feet. Exhale, forward fold. And then with an inhale, reaching up. And exhale, walking to the top of your mat. Hands at heart center. Let's build on this now with an inhale, reaching up towards the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, stepping back with your right leg, dropping that knee to the earth. Anjaneyasana, low lunge, using blocks if that feels right for you. Holding here for a couple breaths. And then pushing back into a runner's lunge or half splits. So staying high here on the back knee, straightening that front leg, toes pointing up towards the ceiling. Hands can come to your waist or stay on the block. Perhaps even forward folding if that feels good to you, heart tending over that front leg. Coming back into Anjaneyasana, low lunge, hands to the earth, step back, tabletop. And then stepping forward now with the right. Low lunge now on the opposite side, left leg behind you. And then pushing back into runner's lunge or half splits on this side. Finding the right position for your hands. Toe pointed up towards the ceiling. If you're forward folding here, your heart is tending towards that front leg. Breathing into the sensation. And coming back to a tabletop position. And then pushing back into downward facing dog. Finding stillness or movement. And then walking those hands back to your feet. Exhale, forward fold. And then inhale, reaching up. And exhale, walking to the top of your mat. Hands at heart center. Building again with an inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, stepping back with your left foot, dropping that knee to the earth. Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Right knee is bent. Using the blocks if that feels good to you. Maybe your hand comes to the thigh instead. And exhale, pushing back, runner's lunge, half splits. Then bending that right knee again, and getting ready for lizard pose. So heel toeing that foot to the outer edge of your mat. And then maybe staying high, or I'm stacking my blocks here. I like to bring my elbows and forearms down to the block. You may find that it's accessible for you to take your forearms down to the mat. Whatever feels right for your body. If you want a different sensation, you can even roll onto the outer edge of that front foot for a bit more of a heart opener. And exhale, slowly pushing out. and stepping into tabletop, and then stepping through with your left leg, low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Pushing back into runner's lunge or half splits. And then when you're ready, bending that front knee, getting ready for lizard pose. Heel toe that front foot to the edge of your mat. And finding the depth that feels right for you. Maybe you're using blocks, maybe you're staying up high, hands on your hips, or coming all the way to the floor. Maybe you're rolling onto the outer edge of your front foot, or maybe not. Breathing into the sensations in our bodies. And when you're ready, gently coming out of lizard pose, moving those blocks off to the sides, and pushing back into downward facing dog. Finding stillness or movement. And walk those hands back to meet your feet. Exhale with an inhale, reaching up. And then exhale, walking to the front of your mat. Getting ready now to go through a Surya Namaskar B, or Sun Salutation B. When you're ready, with an inhale, chair pose, engaging in your core, tucking your tailbone. Perhaps your toes are together, perhaps they're not. Energetically drawing your knees together. With an exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back to your plank pose. Maybe your knees are on the earth, maybe not. Then exhale down. Inhale, baby cobra. And then exhale, pushing back, downward facing dog. Inhale that right leg to the sky. And in your own time, making it to land in between your hands. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, high lunge or warrior one, whatever is best for your body. And with an exhale, taking those hands down to the earth, stepping back, plank pose. Inhale, and then exhale, lowering down. Inhale, baby cobra. And exhale, pushing back, downward facing dog. Inhale that left leg to the sky this time, and in your own way, making your way to land that foot in between your hands. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, warrior one, or high lunge. And with an exhale, taking those hands down to the earth, stepping back, plank pose. Inhale at the top. Exhale, lowering down. Inhale, baby cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Walking your hands back to your feet. Exhale, forward fold, and then an inhale. And then an exhale, walking to the top of your mat. Hands at heart center. With an inhale, chair. Engaging your core, tuck that tailbone. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, step back, plank pose. Inhale at the top, lower down. Inhale, baby cobra or up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale that right leg to the sky with an exhale, stepping forward. Inhale, rising up, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, high lunge or warrior one. And take those hands to the earth, step back, chaturanga, plank pose. Exhale, lowering down. Inhale, baby cobra or up dog. And exhale, pushing back, downward facing dog. Take that left leg to the sky, stepping forward to plant between your hands. Inhale, rising up, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, high lunge or warrior one. Exhale, take those hands down to the earth, stepping backwards, your chaturanga, inhaling at the top. And exhale, lowering down, baby cobra, up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Walk your hands back to your feet, rising up, reaching up, and walking to the top of your mat with an exhale, hands at heart center. And pausing here to breathe, and then with an inhale, chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. With an exhale, stepping back, plank pose. Exhale, lowering down. Inhale, baby cobra, up dog. And exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Inhale that right leg to the sky. Stepping forward, inhale, rising up. Warrior one, exhale. Warrior two. Inhale, high lunge or warrior one. Exhale, take those hands to the earth, stepping back, chaturanga, plank pose. Exhale, lowering down. Inhale, baby cobra, up dog. Exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Inhale that left leg to the sky, stepping forward, planting between your hands. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, high lunge, warrior one. And exhale, take those hands to the earth, stepping back, chaturanga, plank pose. Exhale. Inhale, baby cobra. And exhale, pushing back, downward facing dog. Beautifully done. And take those knees down to the earth, nice and wide, going into a child's pose. If you want a different sensation, maybe a stretch of the lower back, you can keep your knees together. Allowing a moment to make any observations that we might feel in our bodies. Perhaps an elevated heart rate, the buildup of heat, or anything else. And if rest feels good to you, please stay here or come into an intense puppy pose. So it's almost like the back part of your body is in tabletop and the front part of your body is in child's pose. And then if you feel like more movement, you can step back into downward facing dog. Inhale that right leg to the sky. Exhale, stepping through. With an inhale, rising up, warrior one. Squaring those shoulders with the front of the mat. And maybe coming onto the ball of your back foot. And then exhaling into warrior two, feeling free to adjust your stance. Taking time to engage the core, tucking your tailbone. With an exhale, Shanti Virabhadrasana, peaceful warrior. That front knee stays bent, and the back arm rests on the thigh or the hip. With an exhale, coming into extended side angle, resting that front arm on the bent knee. Inhale, rising up, warrior two. And then coming down, cartwheeling your hands, stepping back to plank pose, chaturanga. dropping down. Inhale, baby cobra. And exhale, pushing back, downward facing dog. Inhale that left leg to the sky. With an exhale, stepping forward. Planting between your hands. Inhale, rising up, warrior one, or high lunge, whatever feels better on the knee here. Exhale, opening up, warrior two. Inhale, Shanti Virabhadrasana. Again, that front arm reaches towards the ceiling and behind you. Back arm rests on a thigh, hip, maybe a shin. Then exhale back into warrior two and then straight into extended side angle. That front arm rests on that bent knee. The back arm now reaches towards the front of your mat. Take those hands down to the earth. Step back, chaturanga. Inhale. And then exhale as you drop down. Baby cobra, up dog. And exhale, pushing back, downward facing dog. Walk your hands to your feet, reaching up towards the ceiling, and then walking to the top of your mat, exhaling, hands at heart center. And taking a moment at the top of our mat, come back to the breath before we go into another round of that standing sequence. And when you're ready, inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, stepping back, chaturanga. Inhaling, plank. Exhaling, lowering down. Inhale, baby cobra, up dog. And exhale, pushing back, downward facing dog. Inhale that right leg to the sky, stepping through. Inhaling, warrior one or high lunge. Exhale, opening up, warrior two. Inhale, Shanti Virabhadrasana, arm reaches up and behind you. Inhale, extended side angle. And inhale, then rising up, warrior two. Cartwheel those hands down to the earth, stepping back. Chaturanga. Inhale, plank, lowering down. Inhale, baby cobra. And exhale, pushing back, downward facing dog. Inhale that left leg to the sky, stepping through. When you're ready, inhaling, high lunge or warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, Shanti Virabhadrasana, peaceful warrior. Exhale, coming through warrior two into extended side angle. And coming back to warrior two, and then cartwheeling your hands down, chaturanga. As you lower down with an exhale, inhale, baby cobra. Pushing back, downward facing dog. Walk those hands back to your feet, inhaling. And then as you exhale, walking to the top of your mat, hands at heart center. With an inhale, reaching up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, stepping back, plank pose. Inhale, exhale, lowering down. Inhale, baby cobra. And exhale, pushing back, downward facing dog. Inhale that right leg to the sky. Exhale, stepping through. Inhale, rising up. Warrior one, high lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, Shanti Virabhadrasana. Coming into extended side angle. And with an inhale, rising back up. And then cartwheel those hands down, chaturanga. Lowering down to baby cobra or up dog. And then with your exhale, pushing back, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Take that left leg to the sky this time as you step forward, inhaling, warrior one, high lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, Shanti Virabhadrasana. And then exhale, coming into extended side angle. Inhale, up to warrior two. And then with an exhale, take those hands down to the earth, chaturanga. Plank pose, drop down. Cobra, and exhale, pushing back, downward facing dog. And then you can transition to a seated position, maybe a couple small steps or one bigger step. You come into a seated position and then come onto your back, getting ready for bridge. Drawing your heels towards your sit bones. Knees stay together. Palms come to the earth. And then when you're ready, inhaling those hips up towards the ceiling, rising upwards, maybe pushing into the earth with your palms. With an exhale, slowly lowering back down. With an inhale, peeling your hips up off the earth, sending them towards the ceiling. Exhale, lowering back down. Sending your left leg straight, drawing your right knee towards your chest. And then exhaling, cascading off to the opposite side in a reclined twist. And inhaling back to center. Draw both knees to your chest and then extend that right leg. And then twist off to the right side with your left knee. And inhaling back to center. Going into a supported shoulder stand. Placing a block underneath your sits bones or your tailbone. Inhaling your feet towards the ceiling. Maybe a slight bend in the knees. And if it's part of your practice, you can go into a full supported shoulder stand here. And of course, when you're ready, if plow is part of your practice, you can bring your feet behind your head. That's not quite in my wheelhouse today, so I'm going to come back up to a supported shoulder stand. When you're ready, you can take your feet down to the earth. Remove that block if you're using that as support. Draw those knees to your chest one more time. Maybe even go into a happy baby, or if there's anything else that your body is asking of you here. As we prepare to transition into Shavasana. And feel free to stay in Shavasana as long as you like, as long as you need. As you allow your breath to slow and your body to become heavy and still. When you're ready, gently Coming to a seated position, hands at heart center. Thank you so much for practicing with me today.